This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.
In the headlines, first, Germany's entire rail network ground to halt after a major IT and communications failure. Authorities ordered all trains to stop operating nationwide when a digital radio malfunction severed critical links between drivers and control centers. In Europe, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has played down her public disagreement with U.S. President Donald Trump. Meloni insisted ties between Rome and Washington remain strong despite recent friction over tariffs and security issues. Meanwhile, Iran has rejected President Trump's claim that Tehran agreed to nuclear inspections at war-damaged facilities. Trump responded by reaffirming his position and warning that upcoming diplomatic talks could be called off without access for inspectors. Turning to the Persian Gulf, the United Nations is preparing a large-scale mission to evacuate more than 11,000 stranded seafarers. The operation comes after months of disruption in the Strait of Hormuz during a prolonged naval standoff. The latest survey in the Philippines shows President Marcos Jr.'s trust rating has fallen to negative 13%. Commenting on the decline, Quezon City Councilor Rani Ladovica accused the administration of growing disconnected from the public's concerns. And finally, a fierce national debate is intensifying over the age of criminal liability. The discussion follows investigation findings that the deadly high school shooting in Tacloban City was allegedly premeditated by the teenage suspects. I'm Val Divina Gracia. News and World starts now. Germany's entire rail network was brought to a complete standstill due to a major IT communication failure. Authorities ordered all trains to halt at stations nationwide after a digital radio system malfunctioned, cutting essential contact links between drivers and regional control centers. This report from Carlo de la Peña.
A massive technical failure has completely paralyzed public transport infrastructure across Germany. The country's rail network was brought to a nationwide halt on Tuesday amid an IT meltdown. The shutdown's impact was severe, with stalled rail services and passengers facing widespread transit disruptions. National operator Deutsche Bahn confirmed that trains were held at local platforms because of a critical problem with the GSMR communication system. The specialized digital network connects onboard train drivers directly with regional traffic control centers. Technicians identified the source of the IT failure approximately 90 minutes after the network-wide stoppage was first announced. As engineering teams worked flat out to stabilize the system, local stations struggled to manage thousands of stranded travelers. Deutsche Bahn announced that affected passengers could receive emergency taxi and hotel vouchers were needed to mitigate the travel standstill. Services slowly began moving again on parts of the network after about 2 hours of complete gridlock. However, compounding delays and sudden cancellations continued to impact travelers late into the night. The operational disruption hit both long-distance lines and regional travel networks, leaving passengers stranded at stations and forcing commuters to seek alternative transit routes. The systemic failure follows years of intense operational pressure on Germany's rail network, which faces aging infrastructure, heavy maintenance backlogs, and repeated scheduling delays. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carlo de la Peña, SMNI News.
The U.S. Senate approved a historic war powers resolution designed to strictly curb President Donald Trump's authorization for unilateral military actions against Iran. A major constitutional debate is unfolding on Capitol Hill over the limits of presidential war powers. The U.S. Senate narrowly approved a war powers resolution seeking to restrict further military action against Iran without congressional approval.
The nays are 48. The concurrent motion is agreed to.
The measure passed by a 50-48 vote after 4 Republican senators joined Democrats in backing the resolution. The proposal requires President Donald Trump to obtain authorization from Congress before launching additional offensive operations against Iran, except in cases involving an imminent threat. Republican senators Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, and Bill Cassidy cast the decisive crossover votes, while 2 Republican senators were absent during the vote. Because the measure was adopted as a concurrent resolution under the War Powers Framework, it does not require the president's signature. The White House has downplayed the vote, arguing that the outcome was influenced by the absence of key Republican members. Still, political observers say the rare bipartisan action highlights growing concern in Congress over the scope and duration of U.S. military involvement in the region. The United Nations will launch a large-scale rescue mission to evacuate more than 11,000 seafarers stranded for months within the conflict-ridden Strait of Hormuz. Jane Cognita has the details.
A major humanitarian operation is being launched to evacuate thousands of merchant mariners stranded in the Persian Gulf. Speaking at UN headquarters in New York, spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said the International Maritime Organization, or IMO, is preparing to assist more than 11,000 seafarers trapped by months of regional conflict and maritime disruptions.
They will be beginning implementing an evacuation plan for more than 11,000 seafarers who remain stranded in the region. The large-scale operation will be carried out in close cooperation with Iran, Oman, and all other coastal states in the region, as well as the United States and the maritime industry. The IMO Secretary General, Arsenio Dominguez, said IMO secured the necessary safety guarantees and thoroughly verified the conditions for safe navigation to support these operations.
The evacuation highlights the human cost of the maritime crisis. IMO records show that at least 14 seafarers were killed in dozens of missile and drone attacks on commercial shipping during the conflict. Although the recent U.S.-Iran agreement reopened key shipping routes, maritime authorities say safety concerns remain. Dujarric stressed that ensuring secure passage for departing vessels remains a top priority. The operation is being coordinated with regional governments and maritime stakeholders as authorities work to clear a backlog of vessels and crews. UN officials say the evacuation is a key step toward restoring normal shipping activity and easing the humanitarian impact of the crisis. This has been Jane Cognita, Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian comprehensively rejected any attempts to weaponize the fragile Swiss Accord against Iran's military arsenal, declaring ballistic missiles an essential barrier against American and Israeli aggression. Jane Cognita is back for more details.
A key diplomatic front has emerged in Islamabad as Iran and Pakistan push back against U.S. efforts to broaden the scope of the newly signed peace framework. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian stressed that Tehran's ballistic missile program remains entirely outside the terms of the agreement and will not be subject to negotiation.
تفاهمنامه‌ای که داشتیم وجود نداره و هیچ وقت وجود نخواهد داشت. اگر ما موشکامون که برای دفاع از خودمون بود نبود، اسرائیل ایران رو و آمریکا ایران رو مثل غزه شخم می‌زدن و به پیر و جوان رحم نمی‌کردن. اینا از حقوق بشر دم می‌زنن. دروغ بزرگی است. و اگر ما نمیتونستیم از خودمون دفاع کنیم، قطعاً کشور ما رو اینا رحم نمی‌کردن و قدرت ما رو نابود می‌کردن. در نتیجه هیچ وقت هیچگاه در مقابل توان دفاعی خودمون با هیچ کس گفتگو نخواهیم کرد.
The remarks directly counter recent comments from U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who suggested that any final settlement should address limits on Iranian missile capabilities. Acting as a principal mediator during the Swiss negotiations, Sharif firmly rejected that position, emphasizing that missiles were never part of the talks.
This MOU does not mention about ballistic missiles. It was never on the table. It was never on the agenda. And Iran side never wanted to even discuss about it. So that is not an impression, that is a fact of matter. So I want to make it abundantly clear that ballistic missiles, and of course, they cannot be double standards, two standards, that some countries can have ballistic missiles and Iran shouldn't have. This is simply, you cannot digest this kind of duplicity.
The united position underscores a major hurdle for negotiators seeking a permanent agreement. While technical committees continue work on nuclear oversight and Strait of Hormuz security arrangements, Tehran's refusal to discuss its missile arsenal leaves one of the region's most contentious issues unresolved. This has been Jane Cogniter, Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
Up next, the latest survey in the Philippines shows President Marcos Jr.'s trust rating has fallen to negative 13%. Commenting on the decline, Quezon City Councilor Rani Ludovica accused the administration of growing disconnected from the public's concerns. And finally, a fierce national debate is intensifying over the age of criminal liability. The discussion follows investigation findings that the deadly high school shooting in Tacloban City was allegedly premeditated by the teenage suspects. More news when News and World returns.
For years, Sunshine Media Network International has remained committed to delivering truth that matters. Anchored on the principles of responsible journalism, the network prioritizes facts, clarity, and information that truly matters to the public. SMNI provides a platform for voices that are often unheard, stories that deserve attention, and issues that demand understanding. Public service and national interest remain at the heart of every broadcast. Through consistent reporting and meaningful programming, SMNI continues to strengthen credibility and build public trust. This commitment to truthful and relevant reporting has not gone unnoticed. Over the years, SMNI has received various awards and recognitions from different institutions and organizations. These honors highlight the network's contributions to public service, broadcasting excellence, and nation-oriented programming. Each recognition stands as a testament to SMNI's dedication to responsible journalism and meaningful storytelling. More importantly, these accolades reflect the confidence and trust placed by the public and partner institutions. Guiding this mission is the vision of the network's honorary chairman, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy. His leadership underscores the belief that media can be a powerful force for nation building. Under this vision, SMNI promotes unity, moral values, and responsible citizenship among Filipinos. Programs are designed not only to inform, but also to inspire and empower communities. Because for SMNI, the mission goes beyond broadcasting. It is about contributing to the progress and development of the nation. This commitment to service extends beyond the television screen. Through the SMNI Foundation, the network implements humanitarian and community outreach initiatives across the country. Programs provide assistance to communities, children, and families in need, bringing help where it matters most. SMNI also works hand in hand with its partner organizations, including the Sunshine Philippines Movement, the Keepers Club International, and the Children's Joy Foundation Incorporated. Together, these organizations promote volunteerism, compassion, and social responsibility. Their programs demonstrate SMNI's commitment to real public service, turning advocacy into action. SMNI, delivering truth that matters for nation building.
Sa panahon ng ingay, sa panahon ng maraming tanong, panahon na para marinig ang katotohanan.
Sa totoo lang, ano ba talaga ang nangyayari sa ating bansa?
At sa totoo lang, handa ba tayong harapin ang katotohanan?
Sa totoo lang,
Dito, walang iwasan,
walang paligoy-ligoy.
diretsong usapan.
Sa totoo lang.
Sa SMNI.
In 2005, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy founded the Sunshine Philippines Movement. A mission rooted in love for nature and nation. It began as an environmental and humanitarian initiative to reforest Mount Apo. Once barren, now a thriving and beautiful place. Through his initiative, thousands of trees have been planted across the Philippines, bringing life and hope to communities. His advocacy, One Tree, One Nation, is also a movement that calls for unity in preserving the environment. Because every tree planted is a step towards unity, healing, and a greater future. Join One Tree, One Nation.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has brushed off a public dispute with United States President Donald Trump, asserting that bilateral relations between Rome and Washington remain solid. Angie De Leon has the story.
Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni downplayed a spat with U.S. President Donald Trump following a public fallout, saying ties between the two countries remain strong.
Già detto e ribadisco che non intendo continuare ad alimentare, questo confronto. Penso che il nostro lavoro bilaterale con gli Stati Uniti debba tornare alla sua normalità.
The Prime Minister explicitly referenced widespread social media memes regarding her interaction with the United States President.
Di politica estera come se fosse non lo so, Temptation Island, lo dico per fare riferimento ai meme che vedo girare, ma insomma, politica estera è una cosa più complessa di questo.
The public dispute follows the G7 summit in Evian last week, where Trump publicly mocked Meloni, claiming she had begged him for a photo opportunity and that he agreed because he felt sorry for her. Meloni responded by accusing Trump of fabricating the story, stating, "Italy and I never begged."
Dunque, certe cose meritano una risposta immediata. Le dichiarazioni di Donald Trump sono dichiarazioni totalmente inventate, sono francamente allibita, non so perché il Presidente degli Stati Uniti si comporti così con i propri alleati, non è del resto la prima volta che accade, posso solo dire che dispiace che non abbia la stessa determinazione con i nemici dell'Occidente, con i nemici degli Stati Uniti, con leadership con le quali invece si dimostra molto più accondiscendente. Però una cosa se la deve ricordare: io e l'Italia non imploriamo mai.
Despite the exchange of words, Meloni welcomed Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani's decision to cancel a planned visit to Washington to send a signal. Meloni confirmed that Italy would still attend the traditional July 4th celebrations hosted by the U.S. Embassy. Asked whether the dispute could trigger trade or tariff-related consequences, the Prime Minister said she did not expect any backlash.
Mi auguro di no, credo di no, non vedo francamente contraccolpi, mi pare che appunto la nostra attività e i nostri rapporti vadano bene anche nelle ultime settimane, anche negli ultimi mesi, tanto a livello istituzionale quanto a livello economico. Ricordo che
Angie De Leon, your Global Citizen correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
The latest survey shows President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s trust rating has dropped to a negative 13%. But according to Quezon City Councilor Rani Ludovica, the current administration has already become desensitized to what is happening in the country. Almar Fersuelo has the details.
Cases, arrest warrants, and various forms of alleged intimidation are now reportedly being faced by critics of the Marcos Jr. administration. Among the most notable examples, according to critics, are former President Rodrigo Duterte, who they claim was illegally arrested and detained in The Hague, the alleged religious persecution of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ and Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy, and the pending cases involving personalities critical of the government. This was the assessment of Quezon City 2nd District Councilor Rani Ludovica regarding the situation faced by government critics.
Pinoproteksyonan yung mga kapwa nilang gumagawa ng katarantaduhan sa bayang ito at yung mga lumalabas sa katotohanan ay talagang pinipressure at tinatambakan ka ng katakot-takot na asunto. Ano tawag nyo ron? Di ba panggigipit?
In an interview with SMNA News, the councilor insisted that the alleged pressure has even reached the Senate. This comes as the upper chamber is set to convene as a Senate impeachment court in the impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte.
Tignan mo kung paano ginagamit ng administrasyong ito ang lahat ng power ng gobyerno sa panggigipit doon sa mga hindi nila kapanalig. Noong wala pa silang bilang, ay talagang todo ang pagpe-presscon at paglalabas ni Boying Rimulya, ni Ombudsman. Tinatakot itong mga senador na may pending na investigation sa kanila. Gaya ni Chis Escudero, ni Joel Villanueva, at pati si Marcoleta. Dahil nga meron na silang 13 senador na bilang at definitely maaagaw na nila yung majority sa Senado.
The Gatchalian bloc has taken over the Senate leadership from the Cayetano wing. Under the leadership of former Senate President Alan Cayetano, the so-called Brave 18 emerged in the Senate. Former soldiers who served as security aides to resigned Congressman Zaldeco. They allegedly served as the delivery team for suitcase kickbacks connected to flood control projects. According to the Brave 18, several senators received suitcases containing money.
Talagang may gusto silang pagtakpan o may kinatatakutan sila na baka pag hindi agad ito na dethrone ang Cayetano group ay mabubunyag ang lihim na kinatatakutan ng administrasyong ito.
But despite President Marcos Jr.'s very low survey ratings, the administration appears unfazed. The latest SWS survey, the president's net satisfaction rating fell to a poor rating of negative 15 in the first quarter of 2026.
Manhid na lang talaga ang administrasyong ito lahat ng tao, ultimo bata, alam na. Pero sila, nagmamangmangan pa rin. Kita nyo naman sa huling survey ngayon, negative 13 ang trust rating ni Marcos.
Reporter for Newsline World, Almar Forsualo, SMNA News.
The PNP will review existing security policies and strengthen its coordination with schools. This follows the shooting incident at a school in Tacloban City, as well as consecutive incidents of violence recorded in recent days. Creslin Catarong reports.
Department of the Interior and Local Government Secretary John Vic Remulla has ordered the Philippine National Police to conduct a comprehensive review of existing school security policies. This directive aims to ensure the safety of students and school personnel. A repetition of the shooting incident at San Jose National High School in Tacloban City last Monday. The incident resulted in the deaths of 3 students and left 20 others injured. During a palace briefing on Tuesday, PNP spokesperson Colonel Allen Reyco laid out the steps being taken by the agency regarding the incident. Co stated that the PNP is currently reviewing existing security protocol and other safety measures across all educational institutions. The PNP also recommends that schools open only 1 or 2 gates to strengthen security and better control the entry and exit of people inside the school premises. The official assured that the PNP is looking into the implementation of anti-bullying policies to guarantee they are actively enforced rather than just remaining on paper.
Also, yung anti-bullying policies, sinasabi po na puro sa papel lamang. By the way, sinabi po nila, yung pong this is connected with bullying is their kanila pong claim yan, hindi po namin confirm pa yan. Sinasabi po nila, yung isa daw po ay pinagtatawanan yung haircut niya. The other one ay siguro dahil maliit siya. Pero unconfirmed po ito. Sa kanila lang po nanggaling ito.
Beyond this, the PNP promised to intensify coordination mechanisms between law enforcement agencies, barangay officials, and school authorities. This aims to enhance information sharing and ensure a faster response to incidents. To further improve crisis preparedness, the PNP plans to conduct simulation exercises and emergency response drills. The goal is to provide students, teachers, and other school staff with sufficient knowledge and skills to properly respond to emergencies, including active shooter incidents. Currently, the PNP has already deployed police officers to schools, but Co stressed the need for stronger support from local communities and local government units.
Kasama dito ay humihingi kami ng tulong at ng suporta ng local community po, the LGU, lalong-lalo na po ng barangay. Makakatulong po yung mga tinatawag nating force multipliers, yung mga barangay tanod po, para po mas mabantayan at mas magawa nating mas maayos ang kalagayan ng ating mga paaralan po.
Aside from the campus shooting in Tacloban, 2 separate stabbing incidents were also recorded in schools across Cavite. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Kerseling Catarong, SMNI News.
Debate has intensified over how minors who commit heinous crimes should be held accountable. This follows a shooting incident at a school in Tacloban City where all of the suspects are below 18 years old. Investigators have also found indications that the crime was premeditated. Almar Fosuelo tells us more.
Screenshots of conversation in the Messenger app involving the 2 minor suspects in the shooting incident at San Jose National High School in Tacloban City on June 22 have circulated on social media. Based on the messages, the children in conflict with the law allegedly agreed to bring firearms, create disturbances, and open fire inside the school. The conversation also showed that the suspects were aware of the juvenile justice law, which they believed would prevent them from being imprisoned because they are minors. The messages further suggested that even if they were detained, they knew they could be released once they reached the age of 21. In an interview, Eastern Visayas Police Director Police Brigadier General Jason Capoy said the development is alarming because the suspects appeared to have studied the law.
Napakabilis po ng pagkalat ng mga screenshot doon sa text messages nila. At nakakabahala din dahil parang may alam pa na inaaral din nila, nagbabasa ng batas.
According to the police official, the suspects had allegedly been planning the attack for several weeks.
Based on information, sir, as early as May 1. Kung hindi ako nagkamali, April or May 1 pa nilang pinagplanuhan.
Authorities also learned that the firearm allegedly belonged to a police staff sergeant who is related to one of the suspects. Investigators found that the suspect reportedly took the firearm without the owner's permission and without informing him. The police officer involved has since been relieved from his post.
Agad-agad naisuhan ng restrictive custody ng ng immediate superior niya.
According to Police Brigadier General Capoy, their initial investigation indicates that the suspects were unable to locate their intended target and instead resorted to random shooting.
Negative daw doon yung hinahanap nila, bumalik. So, para silang nag-tactical movement papunta doon sa whole stretch ng corridor. At basta-basta na lang pumutok doon sa windows.
The Eastern Visayas Police also confirmed that the 40 empty shell casings recovered at the scene came from the 9mm Glock pistol, while the revolver was fired only once.
Doon po sir sa 9mm Glock, yung 40 empty shells. Doon ang gagaling. Kasi as per record, isang bisis lang na iputok yung revolver.
Authorities are still determining the true motive behind the crime. Under the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006, a child aged 15 years old or below is exempt from criminal liability but is subject to intervention programs. The principal author of the law was Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan. Following the incident, Senator Pangilinan has faced criticism from some sectors questioning how minors who commit heinous crimes can be held accountable under the current law. As of this report, the number of injured victims has risen to 20, while 3 innocent children have lost their lives. The minor suspects are currently under the custody of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. For God and my beloved Philippines, Almar Forzuelo, SMNI News.
An anti-crime watch group has a message for the Marcos Jr. government amid the recent rise in school violence and the continuing crime problem in the country. MJ Mondihar reports.
The Department of Education says the recent incidents of violence in schools in Cavite and Tacloban cannot yet be considered a nationwide trend. According to the Philippine Education Department, the shooting incident in Tacloban City involving 2 minor students as gunmen remains as an isolated case. But for Citizens Crime Watch, the incident should not be treated as an isolated case.
Hindi po ito isolated cases para po sa amin pagkat every time na may nangyayaring ganito isolated cases lagi. Pero bakit palagi po nangyayari? Meron bang isolated cases na laging nangyayari?
Aside from the Tacloban shooting incident, 2 separate stabbing incidents involving students were recorded in Cavite during the first week of classes. The latest happened on June 19 at Cavite National High School, where an 18-year-old student was seriously injured after being repeatedly stabbed by a fellow student following an argument that escalated into a fistfight. Earlier, on June 16, 7 grade 5 pupils of Bethel Academy of General Trias were injured after they were allegedly attacked by a grade 8 student armed with a kitchen knife. In February this year, a student was killed after a conflict inside a school in Florida Blanca, Pampanga escalated into a stabbing incident. Despite these cases, Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla earlier said in April that the country's crime rate had dropped by 50% since the implementation of the DILG's Safer Cities initiative. According to the Interior Chief, the decline in crime has been felt not only in major cities but also in provinces and municipalities across the Philippines.
Hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-rely sa mga press releases lang Sasabihin nila okay na yung ating peace and order pero hindi okay. Hanggat nararamdaman po natin sa ating mga sarili na tayo ay natatakot, kung may nararamdaman tayong takot sa ating mga seguridad, lalo na po sa mga kalye, hindi po okay ang peace and order.
In recent weeks, the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte, the issue of Senate leadership, and the cases involving several administration critics have dominated the headlines. Because of this, the group has a message for the current administration.
Tama na po yung political misunderstanding. Ang issue po dito, public confidence sa ating pong gobyerno. Ang peace and order must exist and felt by everyone. Dapat, ang matakot po ay yung mga kriminal sa paggawa ng ganitong mga karumalduman na mga krimen. Hindi po tayo ang dapat matakot.
Reporting for Newsline World, this has been MJ Mondiha, SMNI News.
In a world that craves the light of truth. One network stands as an immovable beacon. For years, the world recognized our unyielding spirit, crowning us the most credible media company of the year. We crossed oceans to become Asia's most trusted and valued international news team, and stood defiant as the most outstanding independent Philippine media. Now, in the year 2026, we still face the howling winds of challenges. They bend the law, trying to make us silent. They spread fear to make the industry turn away. But they have forgotten one absolute truth. SMNI is not built on the fleeting praise of fearful men. We are built in trust. Whether the recognition echoes loudly in the grand halls or sits silently in the living rooms of millions, our foundation cannot be broken. They can only try to silence us, but they cannot silence the people who know we are still the most trusted and quality news channel of the year. Guiding this unstoppable force is our honorary chairman of SMNI, Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy.
The mandate of SMNI for nation building. It is always for nation building.
He is not merely a leader. He is a celebrated spiritual leader with strong advocacy for peace and nation builder of the year, hailed globally as a humanitarian pastor of the year, and the most influential and powerful man of the decade. Through every storm, he stands as the King of Peace, championing sustainability and pushing for a unified nation when the world needs it most. Let the shadows try to fall, let the establishment tremble. We are the certified most sustainable and reliable news channel. We are the pulse of the nation. We are the shield of the innocent. The truth is our armor, the people our strength. We are SMNI, and our legacy is the truth.
Kapag hindi yan ibinalita ng SMNI, hindi yan totoo.
Sa SMNI lang ako nanonood at nag-aabang ng balita.
Matanda na ako. Isa lang ang pinagkakatiwalaan ko. SMNI.
Hello, ate kuya. Ano po yung channel na pinapanood niyo po sa balita?
Oo, ako siguradong SMNI. Kasi kung sino yung pinagkatiwalaan ng Duterte, doon kami.
Yes! Yes! Nakapalo po! Ayan po! SMNI! Wow.
Bakit SMNI? SMNI kasi legit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No fake news, SMNI.
Ngayon po bilang isang OFW at bilang isang Pilipino, in-encourage ko nga yung mga kababayan ko na manood na lang tayo ng SMNI dahil patas ang balita at may puso at malasakit para sa sitwasyon natin sa bansang Pilipinas.
Para sa akin, kung ako sa inyo, tumutok kayo sa SMNI dahil dyan lang po tayo makakaasa ng tapat at totoong balita.
Anong channel po pinapanood niyo sa balita?
SMNI lang po.
SMNI lang, wala nang iba.
Para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas, dating mahal.
Iran has rejected claims by United States President Donald Trump that Tehran agreed to nuclear inspections, stating there are no plans to allow the UN's nuclear watchdog to inspect facilities damaged during the war with US and Israel. But Trump doubled down on his assertions, stating Iran is wrong and threatening to cancel meetings right now if inspections are not granted. Angie De Leon is back for more news.
A sharp diplomatic dispute has emerged between Washington and Tehran over the terms of their recent security discussions. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai said Tuesday that Iran does not plan to allow the International Atomic Energy Agency to inspect nuclear facilities damaged during the war with the United States and Israel. Baghai denied that Iran had held a meeting with IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi, stating that no agreed mechanism or protocol exists for inspections at the damaged sites.
ما نه دیداری با مدیر کل آژانس بین‌المللی انرژی اتمی داشتیم
و نه برنامه‌ای برای بازرسی آژانس از تأسیسات هسته‌ای آسیب دیده ایران ناشی از تجاوز نظامی آمریکا و رژیم صهیونیستی داریم. اساساً در این زمینه هیچ شیوه‌نامه‌ای وجود نداره. ما به عنوان عضو معاهده منع اشاعه، به عنوان کشوری که متعهد به موافقتنامه‌های پادمان هست، روال جاری رو ادامه خواهیم داد و فکر می‌کنم روال جاری هم خیلی روشن هست.
His remarks came after US President Donald Trump claimed in a Truth Social post that Iran had agreed to nuclear inspections and that further negotiations depended on Tehran's acceptance. But Trump directly disputed Tehran's statements.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down, 100% inspections. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
Despite the friction, Iranian officials stated that the country would continue to operate within the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and its existing safeguards agreements. Baghai emphasized that Iran's defense and missile capabilities have not been and will never be part of negotiations, and that the issue was not raised during the indirect talks with the United States. On contacts with Washington, Baghai said four-party negotiations had stalled after threatening and derogatory United States statements, limiting communication to exchanges through intermediaries. He further stated that the U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control had authorized the sale of Iranian crude oil, petrochemical products, and petroleum derivatives. On Monday, OFAC issued Iran General License X, authorizing the production, delivery, and sale of Iranian origin oil products through August 21st this year. Baghai noted that talks on lifting further sanctions would take place during the 60-day period set out in a memorandum of understanding between the two countries, following high-level mediated talks held on June 21st this year in Birkenstock, Switzerland. Angie De Leon, our Global Citizen Correspondent, reporting for Newsline World.
The Guadalajara City government established a specialized World Cup inclusion zone at the historic Plaza de la Liberacion, implementing hardline accessibility ramps and child protective tracking during the live 2026 FIFA World Cup broadcasts. Here's the update from Daniela Polite.
The heart of Guadalajara has become a showcase for inclusive fan engagement during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, as thousands of supporters gather at Plaza de Liberacion near the Metropolitan Cathedral. To watch group stage matches, local authorities have established a dedicated World Cup inclusion zone. The specially designed area features accessible ramps, shaded rest spaces, and reserved viewing sections, allowing persons with disabilities, their companions, and caregivers to fully participate in the tournament atmosphere.
Venimos aquí al FIFA Fan Fest porque todas, incluso las personas con discapacidad, tenemos derecho a vivir como las demás personas, tenemos derecho a disfrutar, a divertirnos y a pasarla bien. Pues muy a gusto, estuvimos muy bien, muy protegidas, con muy buen ambiente, entretenidas y aquí protegidas del sol.
The accessibility effort extends beyond the fan zone itself. A human rights board composed of 350 trained personnel is helping identify visitors with mobility challenges and special needs, ensuring smoother and safer access to event venues. Officials are also working closely with child protection agents from the National System for Integral Family Development, or DIF, to assist families attending the matches. Organizers say all 17 cases of separated children reported during Mexico's match day were successfully resolved. As officials coordinate with security and emergency services throughout the tournament, Guadalajara hopes its accessibility and child protection measures will leave a lasting legacy beyond the World Cup itself. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Daniela Paulita, SMNI News.
Hollywood heavy heavyweights Timothy Chalamet and Selena Gomez are teaming up to voice Illumination's upcoming animated cosmic comedy, Not Alone. Meanwhile, legendary music mogul Clive Davis has shaped modern pop and rock by launching the careers of icons like Whitney Houston and Bruce Springsteen, has passed away peacefully at his Manhattan home at the age of 94. Here's Faith Agustin for the details.
The upcoming animated film Not Alone follows Joe, an introverted rocket mechanic voiced by Timothy Chalamet, whose quiet life is disrupted by Fran, a brilliant astrobotanist voiced by Selena Gomez. The duo's lives intersect when Fran invents the world's first plant-fueled rocket, drawing the attention of three stranded alien fugitives named Dunk, Welly, and Sherm. Realizing the eco-friendly spacecraft is their safest way home, the extraterrestrial trio targets the invention, setting off a cosmic adventure slated for release on April 16, 2027. The film marks a major milestone for Timothy, serving as the Oscar nominee's very first feature-length animated voice role. It adds to his diverse filmography of massive live-action hits, which includes leading the Dune franchise, Little Women, and Wonka. Conversely, Selena Gomez is already an animation veteran, famously voicing Mavis in the Hotel Transylvania series, alongside her iconic live-action roles in Wizards of Waverly Place and Another Cinderella Story. Meanwhile, following the announcement of Clive Davis' passing, his family released a statement remembering him as both an industry titan and a devoted family man. Music royalty immediately poured in tributes, with icons like Bruce Springsteen and Patti Smith expressing deep gratitude for his life-changing mentorship and unwavering support. Despite starting with no music industry knowledge, Harvard Law graduate Clive Davis rose to become president of Columbia Records and signed era-defining acts like Aerosmith and Janis Joplin. Known for trusting his instincts over industry rules, he famously masterminded historic milestones, including Whitney Houston's record-breaking a cappella intro for I Will Always Love You and Carlos Santana's Grammy-sweeping comeback. Despite his high-profile ouster from Columbia Records, Davis proved unstoppable by launching Arista NJ Records, where he championed icons ranging from Barry Manilow and Alicia Keys to hip-hop legends. Over a glittering 60-year career, the five-time Grammy winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee left behind an unparalleled legacy and a legendary pre-Grammy Gala tradition rooted in his belief that music is essential to life. This has been Faith Agustin, your Global Citizen correspondent, bringing you the latest show buzz.
Latest sports updates, Cristiano Ronaldo added another record to his illustrious career after becoming the first player to score in 6 different FIFA World Cup tournaments. Meanwhile, the Washington Capitals made one of the biggest moves ahead of the NHL draft, acquiring Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues in a deal aimed at strengthening their core for the future. Carlo de la Peña, more on this.
Cristiano Ronaldo etched his name into football history during Portugal's Group K match against Uzbekistan, opening the scoring in the 6th minute and becoming the first player ever to find the net in 6 World Cup editions. The Portuguese star connected with a cross from João Cancelo to give his side an early lead and register his 9th World Cup goal since making his tournament debut in 2006. Ronaldo doubled his tally later in the first half, finishing off a swift counter-attack initiated by Bruno Fernandes. The goal not only secured another milestone but also made him Portugal's all-time leading scorer in World Cup history, surpassing the previous record held by Eusebio. The 41-year-old celebrated with this trademark too in front of the crowd as Portugal moved closer to advancing from the group stage. Ronaldo's achievement came just a day after Lionel Messi became the all-time leading scorer in men's FIFA World Cup history, while Ronaldo continues to door winner remains focused on a bigger objective, guiding Portugal to its first ever FIFA World Cup title. Meanwhile, the Washington Capitals acquired forward Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues in exchange for forward Connor McMichael, prospect Milton Gastrin, and the 16th overall pick in the upcoming NHL draft. Kyrou, 28, is under contract for the next 5 seasons and bring proven scoring ability to Washington's lineup. Although he recorded 18 goals and 28 assists in 72 games last season, he remains a 3-time 30-goal scorer and is expected to play a key role for the Capitals moving forward. The move adds another established player to a Washington core that includes Tom Wilson, Jacob Chichron, Dylan Strome, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Ryan Leonard, and goaltender Logan Thompson. McMichael departs after posting 46 points in 78 games for the Capitals last season, while Gastrin leaves Washington 1 year after being selected in the second round of the draft. Several other teams also made notable moves ahead of the draft. The San Jose Sharks acquired an additional first-round pick from the Ottawa Senators, while the New Jersey Devils and Calgary Flames completed a deal involving defenseman Simon Nemec. With the draft and free agency approaching, teams across the NHL continue to reshape their rosters, and Washington's acquisition of Cairo signals its intention to remain a contender in the years ahead. Reporting for Newsline World, this has been Carlo de la Peña bringing you the latest sports news.
And before we end, may you be inspired with the words of the sun. Guard your mind, soul, and heart, that they will remain upright in the sight of God. And that's all for this edition of Newsline World. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, I'm Val Divina Gracia. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
This is SMNI News Channel. Truth that matters.